Yes, ma'am.
Alaikum
salam.
I had two questions.
Yes.
Being married and not telling your wife.
Yes.
And also seeking counsel.
Yes. We're going to do that toward the end. I want to discuss that toward the end. Now, brothers and sisters, I want you to use your imagination for a few moments. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had something uniquely in common with one of his Sahaba, and that is Ali. Ali, the fourth Khalifa. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had something uniquely in common with one of his Sahaba, the fourth Khalifa, Ali. Can anybody tell me what that is? Something unique that they had in common, that those two had in common. Anybody can tell me? I'll give you a hint. Yes, Muhammad? Okay, yes, they were related by blood, yes, but that's not what I'm talking about. The hint has something to do with marriage. The hint has something to do with marriage. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had something uniquely in common with his companion Ali. Had something to do with marriage, yes. They both had 12 wives, no. They were cousins, yes, they were cousins, but that's not what I'm talking about. Huh? No! 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 They didn't share the same one. No. I know what you mean, sister. No, they weren't married to the same person. No. Yes. Huh? Say it again? Unity? No.
He married one of the prophet's daughters.
Yeah, he did marry the prophet's daughter, Fatima, yes. But what did they have uniquely in common? Oh yeah, he was, no, that's not it. Something very interesting. You ready? Say it again? Both love women, okay. Brothers and sisters, what is the prophet's sunnah in terms of marriage? If I ask you brothers, what is the prophet's sunnah in terms of marriage, what would you say? What's the sunnah in terms of marriage?
Well, we can see that he had more than one wife.
Okay. How many brothers would say it is the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to have more than one wife? If you believe that's the sunnah, raise your hand. Sisters too. How many believe it's the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad to have more than one wife? Raise your hand. Okay. Brothers and sisters, it is not the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad to have more than one wife. It is not the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad to have more than one wife. His sunnah is marriage. That's his sunnah. I'm saying that for a reason. That's not a trick. Let me tell you why. Proof to you is not the dalil, that is not a trick. He said in words, my sunnah is marriage. Not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12. And I'm going to tell you why this is important. If you say as a brother, I'm going to marry more than one wife because I am following the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you have a fallacy in your argument. The woman will say to you, you want to follow the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you want to follow his sunnah and marry more than one wife? Fine, follow his sunnah. His sunnah was he married one wife and he never took another wife until his first wife died. 25 years being married. And after you marry me for 25 years, then you can take on another wife. That's the sunnah. And you want to follow the sunnah, follow that. The fallacy is, if you try to follow exactly what he did, you're going to get in trouble. His sunnah is marriage. That's the sunnah. Now, whether you marry 1, 2, or 3, or 4 is up to you. It's your choice. Not a trick question. What did Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam have in common with his cousin Ali, the fourth Khalifa? Yes, ma'am. That's right. Ali never took on another wife. He was only married to Fatima, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, while she was alive. And only when he died, only when she died, did he take on more than one wife at one time. Just some interesting fact to give you. Now, brothers and sisters, we're going to close out, but before we do, I'm going to actually give you an opportunity for some questions and answers and some dialogue. You mentioned the last point that the sister was talking about. I want to, just for your information, brothers and sisters, I just want you to just think along with me for a moment. You know, I've said in this class that, in my opinion, America is the chief agent for Shaitan, for the devil in the world, in my opinion. America are the chief representative and the agents of Shaitan. This is my opinion. Is it Quran and Sunnah? No, it's what? My opinion. How many of you think that in this country, America, committing a fornication is a crime punishable by law? Raise your hand. A crime punishable by law. Okay. How many believe that adultery, a man married to a woman and sleeps with another woman, how many believe that in this country, America, it is a crime punishable by law, by punishment? Okay, good. How many of you believe that bigamy / polygamy, bigamy, married to two wives, / or polygamy, more than one wife, is a crime punishable by law in this country? Raise your hand. Okay. Now let's stop and think for a second. What do you think the punishment in this country is for committing fornication? It's there. Are you sure? Is it everywhere? On the books. What's on the books? Is it on the books? First point. Fornication. That is two unmarried people committing illegal intercourse. Is not determined by the federal government, but determined by statute. What is the statute? State law. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, statute. Well, actually, I mean statute. No. The statute, state statute, is without the T, I think. Huh?
That's statute, not statute.
Yeah. But I wanted the state law, statute. This is it. You think a T? I'm going to put it only because you say it. I'm protesting. And the reason I'm protesting, I'm not the best speller in the world. I could be wrong. I reserve the right to say statute without a T. Meaning that it's left up to individual states. And brothers and sisters, believe it or not, in many states of America, it's not even a crime to commit fornication. No. That's something different. Common law marriage is something different. Common law marriage means that you live with a woman, and all intents and purposes, she's your wife, but you then go to a legal ceremony. That's what a common law marriage is. And there's a difference between, I understand the point that you're saying. There's a difference between common law ceremony and fornication. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I just wanted to make a comment. I have a problem with taking America as a great shaitan because we're here too. We're American. Not everybody in America is bad.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give that impression. I don't mean every American. I don't mean that. When I say American, I'm sorry, sister. Thank you, Jazakallah khair. I don't mean all the American people. I mean primarily the American government and its laws. And many of the people that run this government, in my estimation, in my opinion, is the big shaitan. We can debate the issue, and I'm going to As time go on, I'm going to continue to unfold it. But before you do, sister, let me just give you this information. This is just for your information. Hold up, sister, please. Now, same thing with adultery. State law. Some states of the Union, it's not even a crime to commit adultery. In fact, some states of the Union, believe it or not, if a man commits adultery with his wife, even after committing adultery, that's not even grounds for divorce. Huh? Some states, I'm saying. Some states it still is grounds for divorce. Many states, it's not even grounds for divorce. A woman can find her husband in a bed with another woman, and she can go and say, I want a divorce because the man committed adultery, and that's not grounds for divorce in many states. What I'm doing, brothers and sisters, the next few moments, I'm showing you some comparisons between the Islam and the state. What is the punishment in Islam for committing adultery? Death by stoning. What is the punishment in Islam for committing adultery? Death by stoning. What is the punishment for committing adultery in America and Islam? Death by stoning. What is the punishment for committing adultery in Islam? Death by stoning. I want to make sure you understand what I'm saying. What is the punishment in this country for committing adultery? It varies from state to state. Let me give you one, give you an idea. Let me just give you one example of fornication first and then adultery. First of all, what's the punishment in Islam for committing fornication? Huh? 100 slashes. 100. What's the penalty for committing fornication in Islam? 100 stripes, 100 lashes, 100 whips, being whipped 100 times. Huh? It's in Quran, it's 24th chapter. Massachusetts law. If you ever in Massachusetts, this is the law. Whoever commits fornication shall be punished by imprisonment for not more than 3 months, or be fined not more than $30. What year? It's in the law now. Statute, Massachusetts. Hold it, sister. In Wisconsin, adultery. Whoever has sexual intercourse with a person not his spouse may be fined not more than $200 or in prison not more than 6 months or both. That's adultery. But brothers and sisters, you haven't heard the sad part. The sad part is that none of these laws are even enforced. But according to the books, the committing of polygamy, which is halal with Allah, what is their punishment in their books? It is a felony. Hear what I'm telling you? A felony. Fornication, adultery in some states, not even against the law. In any state that is against the law is not enforced. But polygamy, throw the book at them.
What is that?
6 years imprisonment in some states, and fines of more than $5,000. You can commit adultery, fornication in America is all right. You can go to a whorehouse, it's all right. House of prostitution is okay, man. You can sneak around, but don't marry the woman and take care of her as the Islamic way. Don't give her justice. Why? Because this country is ruled by Shaitan. Say what you want to say.
I want to ask you a question, a very important question based on fornication. On one level is fornication. Is it actually the relationship, the sexual intercourse, or is it based on feeling and touching?
The definition of intercourse in Islam is one and only that. Penetration. That's the definition. Fondling is not committing zina. We're talking about zina. Fornication, adultery, the legal definition is penetration. If, I just tell you because you asked the question, if a man is found under the covers of a woman that's not his wife, he cannot be charged or proven to have committed zina. There must be penetration. That's the definition. Yes?
If you enforce the Islamic law with reference to adultery, not adultery, fornication, and you chastise a child with 80 lashes, then 100, then they're going to come after you with child abuse.
If you, brothers and sisters, try to implement the Islamic law, someone commits fornication, Muslim, and say, brother, astaghfirullah, you committed fornication, take your lashes. He says, okay. You come to the masjid, and we give him 100 lashes, according to the Quran, according to the law of Islam. That man now goes to the authorities of this country and said that these people beat me. And you can be held liable, and you can go to jail. Because the Islamic law conflicts with the laws of this society. Brothers and sisters, before I let you, sister, I'm going to let you answer. I'm saying to you today, my admonition to this class and to us, you want to be successful? You see, you can't take a part of Islam and say, Allah permits me to have more than one wife, I'm going to get it. Except you also talk about justice. Except you talk about taqwa in the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I detest people who jokingly say to Muslims, oh, you know, he's a Christian, right? I love Islam, man. Man can marry more than one wife. He can marry 4 wives. I'm going to become a Muslim so that I can have me 4 women. That's a joke. Why leave Christianity to become a Muslim so you can have 4 wives when you can be a Christian and have all the women you want? Think about it. I had to come take shahada just to have 4 women and marry them and take care of them and be equal and have the imam breathing down my neck, having the wife take me to the imam's office. And I can just be in the dunya with the rest of the Christians and Jews and do whatever the heck I want to do. That don't even begin to make sense, man. And you can't argue with the facts, because we know the evidence about what they do in this country and their freakishness, brothers and sisters. Let me tell you another thing. Check this out. Do you know what the punishment in Islam for a man found in the barn with his cow? You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to be nice. A man is in the barn with his cow, and we catch him on his cow. What do you think the punishment is in Islam? Huh? Kill him and kill the cow. That's how bad it is. Kill him and kill the cow. How do you kill him? Check this out. Take him on the highest building and drop his butt down. Oh, that's cruel. But what about America? A felony against polygamy. Polygamy is so horrible. But yet, in this country, a man found on top of his cow, the cop said, move over, let me do it too. Now, that's horrible, but what I'm saying, brothers and sisters, that's the way it is in this society. No, I'm serious. Honestly, you sound like I'm not joking. I'm serious. This is how sick it is, because in this society, they don't enforce it. In most of the laws in this country, there is no law against homosexuality anymore. In those states that there is a law, they don't enforce it. Why? Because the judge is a homosexual, the lawyers, the prosecutor, all of them, the cops, all of them are homosexuals. And you know they got a police gay benevolent association society police. May I have your ticket, please, sir? Can I have your license, please? Please step in my car. Let me search you. Telling you, brothers and sisters, this country is so wicked to the very core. And I'm saying, don't let them deceive you in thinking something's wrong with the Quran. There's nothing wrong with the Quran, nothing wrong with our laws. Our laws are right and exact. But what's wrong is in this society. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us. Now, yes, ma'am. Yes. Yeah. You will see in the Quran, 24th chapter, that the punishment for zina is 100 stripes. Let me give you the exact verse. Now, turn to 24, verse 2. Can I read Yusuf Ali's translation? What did I say? What did I just now say? 24:2, but what did I just say? Can I read Yusuf Ali's translation? What did I say? Can I read Yusuf Ali's translation? Am I reading the Quran right now? What am I reading? Yusuf Ali translation, what it says. The women and men guilty of adultery or fornication, flog each one of them with 100 stripes. Let not compassion move you in their case in a matter prescribed by Allah, if you believe in Allah and the last day, and let a party of the believers witness the punishment. Uh-oh. 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 What we done here? We opened up a can of worms, didn't we? Let me read what Yusuf Ali's translation says. The woman and the man guilty of adultery or fornication, flog each of them with 100 stripes. So what you talking about, Imam Siraj? You said that the punishment for adultery was stoning to death, but yet the Quran says, Yusuf Ali says, what's the difference? That's why I say, brothers and sisters, Mr. Yusuf Ali was an apologist. Let's read what the Quran says first. What's the Quran? It's the words of Allah. He says, الزانية والزاني فاجلدوا كل واحد منهما. الزاني Zani and Zaniya. What does Zani mean? What does Zani mean? What does the word Zana mean? Zina. What does it mean? Zina means illegal sexual intercourse in general. What does zina mean? Illegal sexual intercourse. Is fornication zina? Yes. Is adultery zina? Yes. How to understand this verse from the Quran? You've got to go to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He made a distinction between the person who commits zina, illegal sexual intercourse, whether they're single or whether they are married. Any of the people during the lifetime of Prophet Muhammad, during the lifetime of the Khalifa Abu Bakr, during the lifetime of the Khalifa of Umar, during the lifetime of the Khalifa of Uthman or Ali, anytime they committed fornication, the punishment was what? 100 stripes. And anytime the crime was adultery, what did the Prophet do? What did the Khalifas do? Stoned them to death. Sister, you can find that in Bukhari Hadith, volume number 8, under punishments. Volume number 8, under punishment. And you will see the distinction of zina when a person is single and zina when a person is married. Okay, sister? Yes, ma'am. That yes.
Have there ever been any punishment in this country that they have they used
No. In this country, there's been cases, yes. In the early days, brothers and sisters, you will see America was more of a Christian nation, the days of the 13 original colonies, and there were people that were punished for fornication. But as this society moved into the new sexual age, all of that is changing. The only thing that doesn't change is that law against bigamy and polygamy. They don't want that. Why? Because it seems to imply something to do with Islamic. We got 1, 2, 3. 1, yes, brother.
What I want to ask you about, we're talking about legalization. Now, you're more than one wife here, if you're married, to those who are married there. Do you have any kind of problem here with the governmental structure? Since you don't really have what we call, like I was in other countries in Africa, where they have a separate law which is accepted under the state for Sharia and accepted under the law for what they call a civil law. I don't know that you have anything like that.
We don't have it yet. I believe that in time, that this country, there are going to be people, Muslims, that's going to fight for that and win in court.
Okay, but now,
I'm saying no. I'm telling you no. Give me some more information. Let me answer you fully, inshallah. In the late 1800s, the Mormons went to court and fought in the Supreme Court to make polygamy legal. They lost. Right now, you don't have that. You don't have it. In lieu of that, I've been recommending to the brothers and sisters, anyone who's in a polygamous relationship should make written papers given certain properties for the protection of both wives. Let me explain something in this country. There's been cases where a man married to a woman, let's say for 5 years, he deserts the woman, goes to another state, and marry another woman without ever having divorced the first wife. Lived with the second wife 30 years, and then died, and the court awarded all of his property to the first and only legal wife. Because even in this country, they don't accept sequential polygamy, which means if you do not divorce one wife and you marry another relationship, according to this, most of the states, that first wife is still your wife. I'm saying, brothers and sisters, take care of your business. Some of you in Islam are still married to women, so-called legally, in this society. And some of you sisters are still married to brothers legally in this society, and you got married Islamically. And I'm saying to you, take care of your business. Cut the relationship legally with your former mate. Cut it today. Do what you have to do to cut it, because legally, they still have claims against you, even though they may be non-Muslim. Okay, 1, Umar, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes.
Don't the Orthodox Jews, number 1, practice polygamy, and 2, don't they have their own system, their own justice system? Because we spoke of it last week. They have their own system. They don't even go before the courts when they deal with crimes.
First of all, I don't think that they practice polygamy. I don't think the Orthodox Jews practice polygamy, number 1. Number 2, there are some things in their family law that the court allows them to handle inside of their jurisdiction and not have to go to the court. In fact, there are some things too that the courts would prefer us to deal with and not let them be burdened by our, if you would, our problems. But I don't mean polygamy. They don't accept that at all. But there are cases where the courts would prefer that you deal with your own Islamic laws as long as it doesn't conflict with their laws. That's their bottom line. Brothers and sisters, many of us believe that the United States government gives you the right to practice your religion according to your belief, or practice your religion. Freedom of religion. It's not true. What this country does is give you freedom of belief. You don't believe me? I have the law books right here. It's very clear. And every law book will tell you, no, you can practice you can believe what you want to believe, but you sure can't practice what you want to practice. And there's a fundamental difference. Yes, ma'am, then you.
We don't like the federal government or whoever. Why don't we change it?
Yeah.
What are we doing to ourselves?
You are 100% right.
Why are we making it the country of Muslim or essentially Muslim?
Guess what?
More Muslim countries.
Guess what?
instead of complaining
No. Guess what? It is our desire to in fact change it. We have a mandate from Quran and Sunnah to change it. Whenever you see an evil, change it. And how do you do it? The way the Prophet did it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what he did, teach Tawheed, oneness of Allah, go out, develop, and grow. I thank you, sister, you're absolutely correct. We should stop just talking about it, but try to do something about it. Inshallah, we will, and we are. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
When you were speaking about husband being just you indicated that he has to be just in how his financial treatment of it, but in the intimate relationship between both partners, is it permissible for a husband not to be intimate with one wife because he thinks time for the other wife?
Good question. Let me tell you what the law is. A man is not permitted to go 4 months without consummating with his wife or being with his wife. 4 months. Unless she agrees. And if he does go 4 months without being intimate with his wife, those are grounds for divorce. Now, the spirit of Islam, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. You're not a true believer until you want for your brother what you want for yourself. Then that means, brothers and sisters, that we ought to be sensitive to the needs of our mates. That's the spirit of Islam, is that right? Now, brother, don't we sometimes get the hadith and club the sisters if they don't want to be intimate, and we say it's not right? The angels curse you until morning. Don't we say that? And don't we take the hadith and say, remember what the hadith said, honey? Now, what about the sister who says that? Because what we could do, listen to me, what you could do actually is push them toward the haram just the way they can push us toward the haram. So, we must be cognizant of that. And if you fear that you can't keep within the limits, then you must consider separating. It's real. Because otherwise you cause chaos in the family. Stay together in peace, and that ma'aruf means everything. It means intimacy. And that's why the verse says, sister, don't leave them hanging suspended. What does that mean? It means that they cannot enjoy sexual gratification because you're not doing it, and at the same time they can't go outside of the marriage to do it. So you're keeping them hanging. Wait a minute, sister, you're not next. Yes, ma'am. Sister, I'll call on you. Wait. Shalom. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, sister, say it real loud.
If a brother is taking care of his first family according to what God says, is it right or still allowed for him to take on another wife even if she wants to?
Excellent question. Is it permissible for a brother, if he's not taking care of a first wife, is it permissible for him to take on another wife, even if his first wife is on public assistance? Now, brothers and sisters, that is totally ludicrous. Here's a person, has a business. The business is failing, is in the red, losing money, making no money. They say, oh, let me go open up another business and keep this business open. Does that make sense? No. Brothers and sisters, it is to me a foolish thing to do for a brother who's not taking care of his first wife. He hasn't met the foundation, the fundamental of the first wife, and he's going to take extra burden on his neck. No. Sister, it doesn't make sense. It's not right. And certainly, if they come here, I'm not going to perform the marriage. I'm not going to, if I know that situation exists, and say, Brother Sheikh, please, I want you to marry me to this sister. Please. So you want me married to this sister? Oh, yeah? Not me, buddy. Mustafa. What is something?
Sisters married and they weren't divorced legally by the state.
Yes.
Okay? And if a sister remarries Islamically,
yes,
what is her condition? Now we understand that the brother can have more than one wife,
yes,
so it may be a little more leeway for him. But with a sister situation, if she's not divorced legally and she remarries Islamically, is there a penalty or what is her condition?
It's a good question. I'm gonna repeat the question. Brother asked the question: if a woman is married, let's say married to a man legally, brothers and sisters, I want to define what I mean by legally. Here is married according to this law, because married according to Islam is legally. Now, if she's married according to this law, she should first get divorced according to this law. First, dissolve it. Now, there's situations where a person, let's say a woman married to a man, he deserts her. She can't find him. And there used to be times in this country, most states, you had to wait 7 years before the man can be presumed dead legally. That means you have to make some effort to find him. It's called the Enoch laws, E-N-O-C-K-H, Enoch laws. But most laws changed, and they moved it from 7 to 5. But then what states did is use another law called desertion. That when a man deserts the wife, that's the grounds for divorce. My first point is this, Mustafa, is that sisters and brothers, well, especially sisters, have to resolve their first relationship first. If they're married, if they are tied to this system, they have to untie themselves to the system because of the fitna that can happen. Because that man can come back on the scene and he still has legal claim and rights over you, sister, and it can cause a big problem. And according to this state, your second marriage would be invalid. Even Islamically, you are still, the woman is still, even Islamically, the woman is still married to the man. She didn't stop it. What did they do? Islam, you can't just stop. There's something that you have to do. Death stops it. Or divorce stops it. It doesn't stop it by walking away. That doesn't. You have to get a legal document saying that you divorced from this particular person, lest you're still married. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I'm sorry. Good. Okay. Yes.
Does a woman have the right to obey her husband if the husband has her on public assistance, being that we know that the Quran says that the men are the maintainers?
Question is,
wouldn't it be the state having more rights?
In fact, the state does have more right. I'll show you to the second. The question is this: if the husband, the question is, does the wife have to obey her husband if she's on public assistance? He said, look, man, I'm the man of the house, obey me. She says, yes, I will obey the man of the house. But the man of the house is not you. It's Uncle Sam. I'm telling you what it is. Uncle Sam says what it is, because when Uncle Sam come on the scene, you got to do what Uncle Sam say do. And that's why the brothers have to get our wives off the public assistance. We got to take care of our wives ourselves. Brothers, I'm telling you, we have to do it. We have to do it. And you know what? Our wives will never really respect us as they will until we get them off of the public assistance. I'd rather work and sweep the street, make me $1, take care of my wife, rather than let the system disrespect her and she got to go and lie and say, I ain't got no man, but every year you got a new baby, but you ain't got no man because you lie. To get some dollars from the system. You can't do that. We can't do it. We have to say, no, man, I'll take care of my wife. You get out the way, Uncle Sam. I'll struggle, man. I'll do whatever I have to do. I work 2 jobs, man. I'm going to take care of my woman. I'm going to take care of her. That's it. You know something? She's right. Brother, in my opinion, she said, it sounds like a joke, but she's right. She said, why don't the men get on public assistance? In my opinion, it's better it's better for the man to go deal with the man. Say, look, man, I got a bad situation right now. I can't find a job. I want to work. Give me a job and I'll work, but right now I can't work, and I'm not going to send my wife here and lie in your face. Here I am, man. Deal with me. Give me some money to take care of my family, or give me a damn job. That's what we have to do. And I agree with you, sister. Instead of money, you sit down in the home and you send your wife out. Go and get that money. Go and lie. Get that money. Bring that money back here. Get out of my face with that stuff. Yes, ma'am. Walaikum salam.
For a woman to become a part of a man's household without marriage.
How do you mean, sister? You mean shacking up?
No. Not shacking up, no. A man.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Say it again. I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, I'm coming on. You're not listening.
Okay, I'm sorry. Good.
Could she become a part of the household without marrying her brother?
In what way, sister, can she become part of the house? Give me an example.
I can speak for myself.
Okay.
I'm a widow.
Okay.
I'm of age.
Okay.
Perhaps I would like to have a family, a Muslim family, but I don't necessarily want to marry a husband. Is there any kind of situation like that existing?
Walaikum salam.
I think she has to be married, but just give up her conjugal rights. I don't think there's any way that man can live in the house because there's too much inherited problems and, hurt us situation. I don't think that can be done.
Let me tell you, sis, let me give you an example let me give you some dalil from the history of Islam, inshallah. There was a woman, the question is, I think, if I got it right, sister, can a woman decide to live in a household with another family, including a man, right, and other people, perhaps? Can she get into that situation and live with them like an extended family, sort of, without marrying that particular man? That's the question. And I think, let's put some circumstances around it. Let me give you what I know from the history of Islam. There was a woman named Fatima bint Qais. And you can find this in Muslim Hadith, volume number 2, in the last chapter under divorce. The first 15 hadiths gives you this story. Fatima bint Qais. She was divorced by her husband, irrevocable. And her husband asked her to leave the house. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told her to stay at such and such house. Not to marry the person, but stay at such and such house. Then he called her back. No, don't go there, because many of my Sahaba visit that house and you'll not be able to keep the hijab. Therefore, go to the blind brother. Ibn Mukhtum or something like that. I forgot his exact name. She says, he was a relative, by the way, of hers. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, go there and then you can relax your hijab a little. The general principle, sister, is that we can't be alone in a situation where a man and a woman can be alone, but she cannot practice her hijab or seclusion, if you would. Technically, it's not haram for a woman in a particular circumstance to find herself in a home where she is protected by other people, because the hadith says it's not permissible for a woman and man to be alone in seclusion without someone else. So if you're in a situation where there's no seclusion, then it's okay. But you got to be very, 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 very careful about that. In general, I would say no, that you can't do it. You just can't move into a family, I think. But let me check out the legal ramifications of that, inshallah. Kareem, I'm sorry. No, I think, sister, and everywhere in Islam, we should try to avoid the bad, the harm. If you are placed in a situation where it's harmful, then it's better to be in a situation less harmful. So when you look at each situation, you have to make an evaluation, because in Islam, alhamdulillah, it's flexible enough because of what's called darara, or darara is like needs. You're in a no, what's that word? Necessity. Out of necessity. You're in a certain circumstance that the choice is to live with this Muslim family or live in a shelter where it's dangerous. Then you live with the Muslim family until you get yourself in the best position. Kareem? Yes.
And she's on public assistance. Children are not yours.
Okay.
I'm still a man of the house.
Okay.
And also, if she gets public assistance, I'm gonna take nothing from her.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, what about a case like that?
Okay. I want to make, thank you, brother. I want to make a distinction. I want to make a distinction. A sister. All right. You know, we have to stop for salat after this. If you want to, we can come back. Okay? But we have to stop for salat. A sister, let me first do this first. A brother marries a sister. She's on public assistance. And he takes her off of public assistance in terms of himself with her. But she has children who receive or entitled to receive public assistance. Now, question is, can that man leave those children that are not his, but she has from a previous relationship, previous marriage, can she receive for them public assistance? That's the question. It's a difference. It's a difference. And I have to be honest with you, there's a difference. In Islam, the man is not responsible for the children of another man. The responsibility is always on the natural father of the children. That's always the responsibility. Now, if a sister is receiving, in my opinion, this is like a fatwa that's not binding. If a man is receiving, if a woman is receiving public assistance, she's not lying, the father's abandoned, the father's not taking care of his responsibility, the question is, can she receive that? As far as I'm concerned, yes. I think it's better if the Islamic community would develop in a way that the Islamic community could take care of the Muslims rather than the Kafirs. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء بعضهم أولياء بعض. Oh, you believe, take not the Christians and the Jews and the Christians as friends and protectors, as walis. Don't take them as walis, friends and protectors. They are friends and protectors of one another. So in my estimation, the Muslim community should put themselves in a position where they can do it. And I would encourage the man. I would encourage the man himself, even though it's not his responsibility, but to try to do it. Because in my estimation, it would be better than letting the Kafirs do it. But you know, there's some, you know, one of the things that we have to recognize is that some of our tax dollars is in that money. So there's a whole system of things that we have to do, inshallah. But I agree with you, it's a difference. It's 100% difference than a man having his wife lie, going to welfare, and having the welfare take care of her. I think it's 100% different. Jazakallah khair. We have to stop now for salah, because it's now almost 20 minutes to 12. I promise you, after salah, we come right back, and I only have like 20 minutes because we have to go to another program. Okay? Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta last week. I want to remind you again that polygamy is not an Islamic institution. Polygamy existed before the revelation of the Quran. What Allah in fact has done, He has regulated it. He has made it only that a man can marry up to 4 wives at one time. I mentioned you to last week that there's one time that it becomes haram. It's not permissible for a man to take another wife. And when is that? Huh? Yes. According to the Quran, if a man fears that he cannot be just between 2 wives, he can only marry one. So you must at least have the belief, I can be just between them. But I also mentioned last week, according to the ayah of the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وَلَن تَسْتَطِيعُوا أَن تَعْدِلُوا بَيْنَ النِّسَاءِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتُمْ, that a man cannot be just. He will never be able to have the ability to be just between wives, even if it was his ardent desire. What does that mean? We said that meant what, Umar? Okay. It's saying, this ayat from the Quran is saying that a man cannot be just between wives in terms of affairs of the heart. That's what it's talking about. Why? Because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us the example. When Allah says in Quran that if you fear that you'll not be able to be just between wives, He's not talking about the affairs of the heart, because you can't be just, even though it's your desire. But in terms of treating them with equality and justice, that you have to do, inshallah. Also, we said, brothers and sisters, that America is a Christian nation, and legally, polygamy and bigamy is illegal, but it's practiced in this country, in de facto, in reality. We said that more polygamy is practiced in America than all of the Muslim countries combined, but it's polygamy American style. Also, by the way, brothers and sisters, really, according to the Christian religion, nothing in the Bible, nothing in the Torah, nothing in the Injil that teaches against polygamy. In fact, some of the great prophets had more than one wife. Prophet Solomon, Prophet David, Prophet Abraham, Prophet Moses, many of them, and many prophets, they had many wives. And this is according to their own Bible. So is this the people in this society who allow you to have, here you go, you have a mayor of New York City, a mayor who yesterday, instead of marching in front of the parade, he marches with the gay people. Can you imagine that? Many of the city are marching with gay. Here it is, against the Bible, against the Torah, and then he marches with them to say that it's okay. Look, it's okay to be gay. It's okay to be homosexual. So, brothers and sisters, this is against us. And we said also last week, never apologize for what Allah has revealed in the Quran. You don't have to apologize. It's there. Polygamy is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has permitted. And the last point I said, some of the sisters think, and some of the apologists have said, that a woman could never stand to share her man with another woman. And we said that's not true. While women who's the first wife may not like the idea of a husband taking another wife, but it's the women who is the second, the third, or the fourth wife who chooses voluntarily to marry a man already married, which says that the law of polygamy is as beneficial for the woman as it is for the man. In fact, I think that if we banned it, which we can't do, we said no more polygamy, I think more sisters will be hurt than brothers. That's how I feel. Now, brothers and sisters, what I'm going to do, I'm open up for questions and answers, statements. Any statements you want to have, it's okay. Now is the time to do them. Last week, you had about 10 people who had some statements to make, and now I'm going to give you that opportunity. Questions and or statements. Yes?
I've heard by many sisters that they wouldn't be against it as much as if the brother approached it in the correct manner. Would you expound on what is the correct procedure?
Okay, good. Brother said that there's some sisters who said that they wouldn't mind it so much if the brothers approached it from the right manner. And I agree with him, by the way. I agree that all of us need to go to school in a real sense and to learn how to approach it. Number one, first of all, we shouldn't sneak around and do it in secret. Why shouldn't we get married in secret? It's against the Sunnah. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, in getting married, proclaim it, announce it. And the more people, the better. Don't go, brother, one of the worst things you can do, go and sneak and get married to another sister and your wife don't even know about it. This is not Islam. This has nothing to do with Islam. Why? Because the polygamy affects everybody. That means everything has changed. The wife's time has changed. And so when you're going to be away from your wife, what you going to do, lie? So where were you? I was working all night. Every other night you work all night long? No, it doesn't make sense. And because sooner or later you're going to be confronted by it anyway. Not only that, if you sneak and marry a sister and nobody knows about it, or very few people know about it, if you're with this woman in public and it's a Muslim sister, then you give her a bad name. They say, what's this sister doing riding around that car with that brother? Well, that's my husband. But who knows about it? So you bring suspicion on the couple, and it looks very, very, very bad. So the first thing we should do, we should be honest, with ourselves, honest with our mates, and then to do it in the open, inshallah. Yes. Good. Everybody's in the spirit of Ramadan. They don't want to talk about polygamy today. That's very good. Good. All right. That's it. Yes, sir, Mustafa. Wa alaikum salam.
My question is, if a brother marries a sister, and he marries one wife who's a Christian, and the other wife who's a Muslim, and his wife, and he happens to die, what would be the condition of his body at that particular time? Who would have more rights to his body?
If the brother is married to two wives, one is a Christian and one is a Muslim, and he dies, who would have better right to that body? I would say what he should do, he should write a will, saying that in the case that I die, I want to be buried according to the Islamic law. Contact such and such person. And brothers and sisters, this is very important because we know cases where brothers have died and sisters have died and their family members took their body and buried them as a Christian and we couldn't do anything about it. So please make sure you take care of your business. We have papers about how to prepare your will and also statements about death if you die. I don't know if we have any more left. Is Lukman still around? Walaikum salam. We have any more of those sheets around? Anybody know?
No, I have one. I can run some copies.
Would you? Inshallah. When could you bring it? When could you bring it?
Next week, inshallah, this class I'll have.
Okay, inshallah, next week, Brother Shakur will bring us some of those sheets of papers that talks about how to dispose of our bodies if we die, inshallah. Yes, answer?
Yes, I was debating with a brother, and I told him that he had to tell his first wife that he was going to get married. He said, you said that you don't have to.
No.
Okay.
I said, let me tell you what I said.
Okay.
The question is, does a man need the permission of his first wife in order to take another wife? No, he doesn't. But does he have to tell? Of course he has to tell.